Today I was given a task to stand in front of you to share my life. Sharing is definitely not new to me, but sharing and opening my life as a single mom to everyone is a challenge. To me, I'm not perfect. I'm not even sure if my life is worth your time to listen. But by God's grace, I'll take the challenge, praying that you can learn from my mistakes and be of help to those single ladies who plans to get into marriage. And I also pray that you will see the greatness and how God's grace sustained me. Let me start on the day that I met my husband. Well, CCT is actually where it all started. We met last 2005 and unfortunately we got separated last 2014 due to some reasons. There was a big question in my mind back then. I just come to realize that it was a result of not planning thoroughly the so-called marriage. Was it because we never waited for God's perfect timing or for the right partner? But we are both Christians. I am a Christian and he is also a Christian, claiming to be one. Or it could be of not knowing each other that much. I hope that by this experience of mine will give an example to all single ladies out there. Well, honestly, marrying him was my act of rebellion to my father. So you see, it was just my plan, not God's plan. At the start of our marriage, it was okay. We have two beautiful daughters, but then later on, I found out that he was cheating. I felt so much pain witnessing his betrayal. It hurted me more because he stood up for that woman against my family. I asked myself, how did it all happen? What's wrong with me? With us? I even asked God why He allowed it to happen in our family. And I just realized that the mistakes that I've made. We tried to make things right. We do attending church together. He seemed to be faithful but was sleeping during sermon. We could not even give back to the Lord what is due to Him. You know, the tithes and the offering. As a result, no matter how we work hard, still lacking, not enough. Most of the time, we were fighting, even in petty things, and our children saw that. But above all, God sees everything and knows what He is doing when He allowed to take my husband from me. At first, it was really hard. I was pregnant that time, but because of stress, I got miscarriage. He never visited me in the hospital, nor sight of him after I was discharged. He became different that I could no longer understand nor knew him. We tried to settle things. I even tried to talk to him. Our pastor came to help. He talked to my husband, giving some advices, what to do. We prayed but no effect. It seemed that he never knew us, that we are no longer important to him. He left us for good. I'm not telling you this to hate my husband, for I know that some of you knew him. And I must admit I have also my own mistakes, why our marriage didn't work out. God gave us two daughters and they were the one that I have not regretted in my married life. Few months passed by. I thought when my husband left us, that was the painful part, but I was wrong. My children were very much affected with the breakup. Even their academic performance in school were affected also. I could see in their eyes the pain and the loneliness. Seeing them in that situation as a mother, it hurts me so much. Who would have wanted to have a broken family anyways? So much struggles and adjustment for the three of us when my husband left. We were indebted financially and I have to do something about it. Since I have no job at that time, I applied for a call center agent. It was the most easy way if you are looking for a job. I was hired, but during our trainings, I found out what kind of lifestyle they have. Though not all, but mostly I could say, my faith with God taught me how to live my life praising to Him. I prayed to God to give me strength and peace of mind. And that's where I started remembering my work in CCT ministry. I love doing the ministry with CCT partners, so I tried to apply again. Blessed because CCT hired me for the second time. And I started communing with God. I entrusted our lives to Him. Everything I laid down at the throne of His grace. I opened my life to Him without reservations. I said, Lord, take over the driver's seat of my life and lead the way. He used my pain for me to see how great and able He is to carry me together with my children. Then I saw a glimpse of hope. But still, it's not easy leaving my kids. While I'm working, our budget was so tight, the school fees and our basic needs. After work, I have to sell frozen foods and door-to-door delivery set up just to make my customers buy my products, rain or shine. Sometimes even when there is typhoon, I have no choice but to do the selling just to sustain us. From then, I started practicing tithing, returning what belongs to the Lord even in small amount. Eventually, I used with our situation. Though it's hard, but I have to do it for my children. To be a mother and a father to them at the same time is a no joke at all. After a few months, I thought everything will be okay for the three of us. The pain I suffered when my husband left us, I thought that was the worst. But as what I've said earlier, I was wrong. I realized it was God's way to prepare me to be stronger for another trials. My youngest daughter has diagnosed having emotional stress that caused her immune system to go down zero, that it resulted to her having hair fall, to the point that she became bald. All the hairs, skin hair, eyebrows, eyelid, it has a great effect in her physically, mentally, and emotionally. She is down. At times, she became the object of bullying in school. What saddened me most was I wasn't there for her. I just couldn't imagine how terrible she had felt the time. The pain she felt is doubled in me. I couldn't stand seeing her hair beginning to fall. I brought her to a specialist for help, but the doctor advised me or referred me to go to Manila because here in Bacolod we have no appropriate facility to study her case. Yet they could not guarantee that my daughter will recover. Only 7%, so slow that I'm beginning to break down. But then I have to be strong for my daughter. My strength is her strength also. And again, I ask favor from God with all humility. I bowed my knees before Him. For my daughter, I started to believe that my God is greater than all of my problems. Faith to conquer mountains of trials and sufferings. I have this intimate relationship with God, a daughter to His Father that without Him I could not do it alone. I became more active in our church activities, ministries to ministries. In spite the condition of my daughter, I tried to deal with her like a normal child. I find ways to cover her baldness. I bought wigs. Together, the three of us, little by little, served the Lord. I brought them to the church, teaching them to love God above all and learn to give thanks in the walks of life. My CCT family, my church, my friends, and family have backed me up in this chapter of our lives. I'm happy and thankful that I have so many prayer warriors. Impossibilities will become possibilities after some years of struggles. I can see few hair beginning to grow in her head, and until it became thick and thicker, and it went back just like the normal one. I can also see glow in my daughter's eyes. The immune system rise up eventually, and there the faith and self-esteem in her. She regained a smile and self-confidence. Now, it's my 7th year in CCT, and there was never a time I regretted working in this company. My CCT family played a big part in my rising again. It helped me to provide my needs in our day-to-day life. And because of this job, I was able to repair our house, and I'm happy for it as a result. Above all, with this job, I learned to value souls every day. I got to encounter different phases of life, their joy, pain, and sufferings also. In spite of difficulties, they were able to appreciate things and have a smile on their faces whenever there is a partner sharing. It makes a blessing to all of us. It helped us realize that apart from God, we can do nothing, and everything that we have belongs to Him. We are just steward. Now I'm so happy and thankful. My daughters are now 12 and 10 years old, and I just couldn't imagine if I didn't have the true and living God in my life. I'm so grateful that my daughters are now faithfully serving the Lord. It's really a blessing for me seeing them teaching and spreading the gospel at a young age. Again, that's my life. And this is Karen Geraldez, a single mom, and will keep on believing that it is by God's grace that I was sustained. It is all by God's grace that I am still here, and it will be all by His grace to continue in the ministry entrusted to me. It's all nothing, but only by God's grace. Nothing but grace.